can't have regrets for the bad things that happen to you. They're just as important as the good things. I've learned way more from my mistakes than I have from my success. I said Hollywood would die the day I pulled out of town.
We're good. You got your seatbelt on? Seatbelts? Seatbelt!
We're going to find out just how mentally healthy this country is over these next few years. Maybe a few months. Shit. I just don't think there's time in life to hold a grudge. You got to get through it, move through it, figure it out, look for something fun to do. But don't ever miss an opportunity to call someone out for being a dick. I wasn't the one who started this bullshit, but I will do what it takes to end it. Steve Bannon just came on Chris Cuomo's broadcast tonight and announced that he's endorsing President Trump for the 2028 election.
You have anything to do with putting your name in that list because you have presidential ambitions?
No. And President Trump, I'm a firm believer that President Trump will run and win again in 2028. So I've already endorsed President Trump. A man like this comes along once every century if we're lucky. We've got him now. He's on fire, and I'm a huge supporter. Want to see him again in 2028.
And obviously, anybody who doesn't like what you say but judges it as a function of a lack of intelligence doesn't know anything about you. I don't make that mistake. You're a smart guy. Oh, you know he's term limited. How do you think he gets another term?
We're working on it. I think we'll have a couple of alternatives. Let's say that. We'll see. We'll see what the definition. We'll see what the definition of term limit is.
All right. Well, so you're talking about litigating this issue because I don't want people to listen to our interview and say Bannon's cooking up an insurrection. Bannon is cooking up. You know what I mean? I want people to get a straight take on where your head is. What do you suggest,
Chris? As you know, I've had greater long shots than this. When we supported President Trump after the election, I realize you don't believe the election in 2020 was stolen. We do. We fervently believe that. When President Trump went back to Mar-a-Lago on January 20th, 2021, he was the longest of long shots to return to the White House. We said that day in our podcast and doubled down, having President Trump's back, that he was coming back not just to win the primary, he would win the White House, and we had to get organized and drive that victory and also start working on all the policies.
Did you hear me almost spit up my peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the audio? Okay, so it looks like they were behind Project 2025. I mean, Trump did totally lie about that. I mean, I guess you can probably say that Trump is owed a couple of lies the other direction if you look at what's kind of come from the other side. I mean, it's really quite crazy how I think I see what the Democrats mean now by they really meant if he gets in office, he might just stay in office. Is it because you guys knew how much money was being stolen and how popular he would become? I mean, because if you were, I'd give you guys a lot more credit than I did yesterday. It cause some people to lose their minds. This is going to be Trump derangement syndrome at a level we have not seen yet, at a level that will probably start. I'll bet if there's any more I live in a house where there's a conservative man and a Democrat wife who lives here part-time. And you guys already know who's in control in this house. Is it logic? Probably not. Is it good for everybody? Probably not. But is it going to be that way? Yes, it is. Every woman has her second home. She gets to make that decision. She is the queen. Yes, that's the way it goes. You can't have regrets for the bad things that happen to you. They're just as important as the good things. I've learned way more from my mistakes than I have from my success. I said Hollywood would die the day I pulled out of town.
We're good. You got your seatbelt on? Seatbelts. Seatbelt.
We're going to find out just how mentally healthy this country is over these next few years, maybe a few months. Shit. I just don't think there's time in life to hold a grudge. You got to get through it, move through it, figure it out, look for something fun to do. You'll probably be watching this video in the future since YouTube is still suppressing me and squeezing me and turning me off, which I haven't figured out yet is for my content about what I've posted about cryptocurrency, if it's my content for what I've posted about what's happened to me in the courts, or if it's my content on just how I like to rescue dogs, do projects. Not quite sure which one it is, but it's there, and I guess we'll find out soon. I mean, that's kind of why I started broadcasting in the first place. It's like at some point, they're going to figure out I was getting like 18,000 views a day and screaming. But somebody noticed that and turned it off like overnight. Just click it off, click it off, click it off, click it off. And maybe it could have been like somebody said that it could be that I went from dog videos to another type of video. And that's like a no, you're not supposed to do that. But mine wasn't like, I wasn't creating a video series on dogs. Like it's always going to be about me. I mean, dogs are included in this video series. In fact, check this out. On board, I'm the captain, so climb aboard. A new day tomorrow, on every shore, and I'll try, oh Lord, I'll try to carry on. You know how it goes, right? For some reason, I was getting good acoustics off the rocks and like where the fog was and just how the weather was. Sometimes you get good acoustics on the beach. Never be afraid to just belt out a good falsetto, especially if you have good acoustics. Steve Bannon is a far right wing. He is. I know many people like him. You know, my grandparents, my uncles. Most of my family is kind of this, like the image of that Steve Bannon, a little rough around the edges, 3 pens in the shirt, the flannel, long hair, little scruffy, but smart as a whip. And that's what I had to grow up around. Like 5 of them, 6 of them, just all men. I guess you would call it the patriarch. I grew up in the patriarch with all the fucking narcissists. Yeah, and I have 3 concussions from it and a lot of trauma, a lot of guns involved and killing animals and some real traumatic stuff, but also some real life stuff like hanging up a cow and seeing how a cattle is, your cow is slaughtered and catching the chickens and helping uncle cut their heads off. All very traumatic stuff as a kid, but you do eventually kind of get used to it and see it for what it is. And that is a certain, let's just put it this way, later in life, coming out of a lot of that trauma, I think it did me and served me really well. But I wasn't, like my cousin and my uncles and a lot of my other family out there, they just never really saw anything outside that. So we always had this very big divide between us, which I get, I understand. I went and participated in the real world, the material world where all the abortions exist. And so, more power to them for holding me accountable and making sure they, we understand that we are out of the family. My dad not only cut them out of the family eventually, he eventually cut me out of the family. My dad's now, 2 gallons of vodka on the kitchen counter, just drinking himself into oblivious death with no plan. And it doesn't even want to acknowledge it's happening. Literally nothing. He'll be dead. What did I say? Well, I mean, I'm on record saying my dad will be dead in 9 months about 3 months ago. So I got 6 months before my, I mean, if I can get in and stay with him for a little bit, I think I can possibly peel him out, but he doesn't want me to do that. No alcoholic or drug addict or addict, none of them, especially in their 70s, want you to intervene at this point. And my dad is not only the most stubborn man, he's also the worst at listening you will ever meet in your life. Hands down. No question about it. So that is where a lot of these guys come from. You know, the old homestead, the old farm, hard work, organization, communication. You know, there was no women beating. Never saw any women being treated like inappropriately, disrespectfully. It was always mutually respectful within all the relationships. In fact, all my uncles are still married to their original wives. And a lot of the kids are divorced. A lot of the kids, actually, one of my cousins went a little sideways. I think she had like 13 kids. And that's the flip side of living in that kind of confined, controlled environment, is you end up getting some, you know, some people that just, okay, fine, you want me to stay here? I guess I'm just going to make babies. And everybody else goes and lives in the real world where you go like, oh, shoot, I got pregnant. I should get an abortion. I should just do it quickly. If I hold this baby until its term, that's not making a decision quick enough. And I think we need to make those decisions a little bit quicker. That's it. So I think there's a lot of things that everybody can get aligned with, which we better start figuring it out here really soon. Because if we don't, unless the Dems have something really big planned up their sleeve as far as the wild card, the ace, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's just going to be a nuke from Iran. Who knows? Trump's pushing Iran's buttons right now too. Just I get it. We don't want Iran nuked, or we don't want a nuclear Iran. And we don't want third parties. I don't want third parties meddling. I don't want George Soros's and Iran's and Syria's and BlackRock's like using all of this money. At least get our money out of the efforts to destroy us. If the private equity money wants to come in, if any other interest money still makes its way in, okay, well, it's going to make it in because I guess we're America and we're the most corrupt country in the world. That's what it's turning out to be. I think China's got their hands in on it. I think a few other people will have their hands in on it. And there's a lot of change coming, like we've been saying, like we're going to keep talking. And that's the point of all this, because as it starts getting weird, I'm just going to be that much better at doing this. And there's going to be so many reasons for us to have dialogue as the ratchets up.
I never knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. Did you? I just knew I wanted to be around decent people. You know, people who were fun, friendly. See, Generation X, we're the way we are due to how we were raised. Our coaches were allowed to be hard on us. Our parents had no idea where we were because they were too busy doing them. That's where all the great 80s one-liners came of parenting. Stop crying or we'll give you something to cry about. You think that hurts? You should see what I did to your father when he was a kid. You know, just the normal trauma. From childhood, we're programmed by parents, society, our friends, the systems around us, our religions. Some parents raise their kids to be submissive, obedient, molded to fit the system. Others raise them to be confident and to fight it. We are at a crossroads like we've never been before. This division is not helping. The choice is being made right now. And we are not just spectators. We are the players in this game of history. Future isn't written yet. My vision for this broadcast was to bring more voices into the conversation, to ask hard questions, and to find out together how this plays out.
For people to take their dogs to the park. Shocking.
If you're one of those special individuals who's about finding a solution to all this, follow this and subscribe.